You've studied English for years. You know the grammar rules inside and out. You can watch movies without subtitles and follow every word of your favorite podcasts. But the moment you have to speak, something happens. You hesitate, you stumble, and that fluent, confident version of yourself gets stuck in your throat. What if I told you the solution isn't about learning more English? What if it's about fixing the specific, tiny mistakes that are secretly putting the brakes on your speech? This isn't another generic list of tips. This is a targeted guide to finding and silencing the 7 hidden mistakes that are killing your fluency. Let me tell you about Maya. She was staring at her Zoom screen, her heart pounding. The big presentation to the London office was starting in just 60 seconds. She knew her material perfectly, but a familiar dread washed over her. It wasn't fear of the content, but of her own voice, the inevitable trip-ups that she knew would make her sound unsure, less competent than she really was. It started smoothly. But then she hit the first bump. The data is showing that our strategy is ... effective. She saw a slight frown on her manager's face. After the meeting, he'd gently correct her. The data shows. This is fluency killer number 1. The overthinking tense. So many learners use complex continuous tenses like is showing or are wanting, when the simple present tense, shows, want, is much clearer, more direct, and more natural. It's a small change that makes a huge difference. Flustered, Maya rushed on. We should to consider the next steps ... and there it was. Mistake number 2, the phantom to. This is when you add the word to after modal verbs like should, could, must, or will. It's a tiny error, but it instantly signals learner to a native speaker. The correct way is simple. We should consider. I must go. She will call. Dropping that phantom to immediately makes her speech sound cleaner. Trying to sound collaborative, she then said, I discussed with Sarah about the project. This brings us to mistake number 3, the preposition parasite. These are unnecessary prepositions that cling to verbs and weigh them down. You don't discuss about something. You simply discuss it. You don't enter into a room, you enter it. These little parasites are verbal clutter. Cutting them out makes your sentences leaner and more powerful. Next, trying to be precise, she hesitated. The report is on the U table desk. This is fluency killer number 4, article agony, that eternal struggle between a, an, and the causes more pauses and uncertainty than almost any other grammar point. The hesitation it creates breaks your flow and signals a lack of confidence, even if you know your topic perfectly. Mastering articles isn't just about grammar. It's about eliminating those fluency-destroying pauses. A colleague jumped in with a quick question. Maya's reply was a bit of a ramble. Yes, because I think that maybe we can, if time allows ... This is mistake number 5, the safety spiral. It's when you use long, vague buffer phrases because you're afraid to be direct. Instead of a confident, clear sentence like, yes, I recommend we proceed, you spiral into a maze of words that weakens your message. Confidence comes from directness. She then mentioned a recent successful campaign. It was very good. Really interesting ... A big success. Do you hear that? This is mistake number 6, the vocabulary vortex. It's being trapped in simple, overused adjectives like good, nice, and interesting. Maya knew words like effective, compelling, and significant in her writing, but in the heat of the moment she fell back on the basics. This makes your speech sound generic and robs your ideas of their impact. Finally, trying to end on a strong note, she said, I am looking forward to hear from you. Oof. Mistake number 7, the gerund blind spot. This is forgetting to use the ing form of a verb after certain prepositions. In this case, to isn't part of an infinitive. It's a preposition in the phrase look forward to, so it should be, I'm looking forward to hearing from you. Other examples are, she is good at speaking English, or thank you for helping me. It's a tricky rule, but mastering it is key for sounding natural. After the call ended, the silence in the room felt heavy. Maya felt completely defeated. She hadn't failed because she didn't know enough. She failed because of fluency's hidden architecture. These 7 silent killers had sabotaged her. But that afternoon, she decided to change her approach. She didn't open another grammar textbook. Instead, she found a list. Just like this one, the 7 English mistakes that stop your fluency, and it was a revelation. She realized these weren't gaps in her knowledge. They were habits, and habits can be broken. Her strategy shifted. She started listening actively for these mistakes in podcasts and on TV, wincing every time she heard someone say, "I should to go." She started drilling short, correct phrases out loud in her room. The data shows. I enjoy working. It was impressive. She even banned the phrase "very good" from her vocabulary for a whole week, forcing herself to find precise, powerful alternatives. It wasn't an overnight fix. But every time she caught and silenced one of these fluency killers, her speech became a little smoother, a little more direct, a little more confident. Weeks later, in another meeting, the same manager asked for her opinion. Maya took a breath, not to stall this time, but to choose her words with intention. "The data shows a significant opportunity," she began, her voice steady and clear. "I recommend we discuss it with the team. No phantom 2, no preposition parasites, no safety spirals." On the screen, she saw her manager nod. But this time, it wasn't a nod of correction, it was a nod of agreement. For the first time, Maya felt her ideas flow into the room, completely unobstructed. The 7 silent fluency killers had been found, and finally, they have been silenced. Now it's your turn. Identify your fluency killers, practice silencing them, and watch your confidence soar. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more tips to help you become a truly fluent speaker.